Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for watching today. So, today, Monday, June 6th, back to work, back to the normal work week. But today, I'm talking about planning and preparing and things that three things that could help you stay organized and plan and prepare and keep yourself on task to get things accomplished and be having a successful day, a successful week. So I'll keep this short today because three things. So three things that I do, and I'm just sharing those with you. So here's number one. No, number one thing I do is on Sunday nights. Sometimes in the evenings or afternoon, but it's always on a Sunday. I glance at my week. I go over my week. I go in my schedule and figure out what things I need to organize. What am I going to see this week? Because, and you might have heard me say this in many other videos, is that I try not to remember my schedule. Does that sound funny? I don't want to memorize my schedule. Years and years ago, I used to, what do you have on Tuesday? I have a doctor's appointment or I got to call this person. My personal opinion, if you are taking up your mental energy to continue to remind yourself, I got to do this, I got to do this on Tuesday, I got to do this on Tuesday, I got to do this on Tuesday, it's taking up your brain space or energy to concentrate on what you're working on now. And so I do my best to not even know what personally I have to do. I glance at it on Sunday. So Sunday, I kind of do an all week glance on what I have to do and accomplish. And then that gives me times to prioritize. It gives me time to rearrange. It gives me time to delegate. If you have even personal matters, sometimes, my kids, my wife, my family, friends, sometimes I ask them for help when things are going on because I'm busy doing other things. So when you give people time to plan. So when I see my schedule, if it's a busy business day, sometimes my assistant Brooke, who helps me, I delegate things to her. I just said, hey, Brooke, I'm sorry. I see Thursday something else came up, something I have to get done. Can you rearrange this time for me or help me out with this? So it gives people in your lifetime when you need to help people delegate. And again, not just business things, just your personal things. But I'm going to go over that in a minute. So again, Sunday night week overview. Now, every night, go over what's going on the next day. So also Sunday night, you're going off and really making sure Monday's in order. And I'm kind of an OCD freak about my calendar. I like to have things every half hour on the half hour. I just do. I try not to do anything that's more than half hour. If that sounds funny, because I got a lot of things to accomplish. So every half hour on the half hour, make sure your schedule's full with things. And why I say half hour. So that you might be prospecting or making calls or doing things that take more than a half hour. But I suggest to put those, if it's not something like an appointment, like you have a buyer's appointment, you're going to be with people for 2 hours. You can't cut that out. But what I mean by half hours, you might be prospecting. And if you put, example, 3 hours of prospecting in 2 hours and something else comes up, like you have to go to a inspection, you have to have a client meeting, something like that, you're not cutting out the whole thing. You know what I mean? You're cutting out just a half hour of it. So if you have 3 hours of prospecting, you put on your calendar for a Sunday night to be on Thursday, and all of a sudden, as the week goes on, there's things that needs to come up. You just cut it out in slices. You're like, okay, delete all the prospecting, 3 hours to put in 1/2 hour meeting. Does that make sense? So if you put in prospecting half hour, prospecting, and if all of a sudden something else comes up, okay, great. Then right in the middle of the 3 hours of prospecting, I'm going to do a half hour. I have to have this phone call or this meeting, but then I'm going back to prospecting. Hopefully that kind of makes sense there. And then also what you're doing daily is to make sure those half hour increments are filled in. There's something you have the night before to fill in your time, because you don't want to spend the time that day trying to figure out what am I going to do to fill this up. And that leads into the last thing. Prepare for distractions. Prepare and be ready for what you're doing the next day. Example is, if you're going to do prospecting, make sure you have your list ready. Who you're going to call. Is it organized? Is it something that's on your calendar or in your contact list? So you're not spending the first 20 minutes of prospecting time, okay, now who I'm going to call, fumbling around with your contact management system. How are you going to organize that? Prepare that. And even preparing personal things. Like example, if you know you have a long day the next day, prepare your meals. Where are you going to eat? What you're going to eat? Are you ordering out or take DoorDash? Or are you going to make a sandwich? What are you going to do for meals? What are you going to eat? So it doesn't take up much of your time. Planning for personal duties, like if you have household chores or picking up kids or handling their schedules. Be prepared, so that's in your schedule. So be prepared for the distractions that are going to take you off of your daily work. Because when you have your own schedule, you're your own boss, those distractions come up. When you have a 9-to-5 job and you're in a different office, you have to drive to an office and you're sitting there, there's so many different things that you can't become a distraction because you're physically somewhere else. And any agent that even now, we've been in the business many years, I know for a fact if you went from a 9-to-5 job in a different location to a full-time realtor working from home, all these other distractions. You never did laundry at 10:30 in the morning because you're at your office. Your kids or spouse or friends didn't ask you for some extra help of things because you were working at office. But now you're working from home. Sometimes your own family and friends are like, hey, I need this, I need that, or they get a hold of you because you're easier to get a hold of now than you were before. Does that make sense? Does that sound familiar? Because I know that happens to a lot of self-employed people that work from home. And even, I know, I get in this debate with people all the time, well, especially during COVID with working from home. I totally 100% support people that could work from home, but we know a lot of situations working from home could be not as productive as working in an office. Sometimes. Some people like myself, I think I'm more productive at home sometimes because if I have no distractions. Because in an office, like example, and many of my agents know this, when in my office, my door is shut all the time. We don't get as many visitors as we used to, agents coming by since COVID, but I always had a rule, my door's always shut because when agents come and go, I used to always get the Popeyes, come in, you got a minute, and it might be distractive to me, but I have so it took a while from years ago for agents that were normally coming in the office, like, oh, knock on my door. I'm like, you can't knock on my door because I have something scheduled at that. You got, it's kind of like your doctor. You can't just walk in your doctor's office, hey, doctor, can I talk to you? No, they're with patients. You have to wait your turn. So that's how you have to be with your schedule, because you're going to have people knocking on your door, calling your phone without an appointment, without asking you if they need things, and you have to make sure those distractions are something that's an emergency that you need to handle now. Now, me personally, my half hours on the half hours are, I still try to be, whatever my task is, to get it done within 20 minutes. So a lot of my coaching calls with agents, this is why we do 15, 20 minutes, because I still have it scheduled a half hour, but I have 10 minutes minimum to get those things that happened over the last half hour, because I get those distractions all the time. Not distractions, things I got to help people with, they need help with right away. Text messages, quick answers. So leave yourself some time between the things you're doing for those things and limit yourself to that. And you can, unless it's a complete emergency, reschedule people. So a lot of my agents understand this. When I call you, you text me, call me that, and I say, okay, I got a few minutes, 2 minutes before my next phone call. If we could get it done in 2 minutes to 5 minutes, great. If we can't, I'll have to call you back because I have another appointment scheduled. And then at least I prepare, react, reschedule all quickly. And most people understand that. So if you have clients that are calling you, they might not wait to the end of the day. And because time is of the essence with some buyers and some sellers, they could pick up another agent. So my other tip and suggestion of planning, preparing, organizing is leave that little cushion every half hour to check your text messages, check your email, check your voicemail, just to make sure it's someone that you could get back to, so you could get back to, or at least respond with a quick response within a half hour, within 20 minutes to a half hour, for anybody that's calling you, texting you, waiting for an answer. I suggest in our sales business to not let it go the whole day. Like someone calls, Tony said I gotta be on task, and no distractions. I'll call these people back at the end of the day. Half right, but acknowledge them. So a lot of my agents know this. You'll call me or text me. I'll text back saying, hey, I'm on the phone with somebody, or I'm in a meeting. Call you back later, or try to call you within 20 minutes and maybe reschedule you. So I just want to give you a tip of what I do. Now, what I do might not be great for you. The best schedule is the one that is easy for you to follow. The best contact management system is the one you're going to use and keep yourself organized. So you got to figure out what works best from you to actually accomplish what you want to accomplish by the end of the day. And don't lie to yourself. Don't make excuses. So many people do that, and they never get to that success level they want. They always make, I can't get that done. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, that came up. Oh, don't have time for that. Anytime that is consistent, because it does happen sometimes, but if that's on a daily basis, weekly basis, you have more things that you're not getting done that you're getting done, then there's too many excuses in there. You're allowing too many things to distract you. You're not concentrating on especially the income generating activities to get you where you want to be in real estate. So that's it for today, but I love to help organize people. So if you ever want to call, text, email me anytime. I'll put time in my calendar for you, and we'll go over your schedule. We'll give you ideas on what to do, what's best for you to do, and how to keep yourself on task. So that's it for today on a Monday, June 6th. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday. Bye-bye.